You had a little fun on Sunday, didn't you?
It's Priscilla's fault. It's Priscilla's fault. I blame Priscilla. She got us the fancy mugs.
Yes, which people were blowing up in the chat. It was a very active chat. We're referencing our live watch party in case you missed it or in case you are having major FOMO about not signing up and coming to the live watch.
It was so much fun. I had approximately, in total, 2.5 sips of a cocktail, and boy, oh boy, did I just lose my mind. It was honestly so fun. Like, truly, I'm not just hamming it up. It was so nice to see Jess. It was really, really fun. It was really fun to watch in real time and have people's reactions in real time.
Yeah.
And then that trivia, those guys
I loved meeting those fans.
My God, Arnold and Chip, and what was his husband's? Actually,
and
I don't
Doug.
know if that was his. Doug, yes.
Arnie and Doug, and then Chip. And you did wonderfully, but unfortunately you did lose the trivia to Jess.
Hard. Yeah.
Again, it was that cocktail. It was that half a sip.
Yeah, it was that half a sip. I don't know what was I? Oh, right, when I did the impression of Jess.
Yeah, because first I put Jess on the spot and I said, "Give me another line reading of this," and then you rightfully you're like, "Brock, no, she is our guest. We're not asking her to do that." And so then she turned and you said, "We're gonna do an impression of Jess's line," and I thought I did a great job. The audience gave me a 6 out of 10, and we thought. You couldn't get the line out, and then people were blowing up in the chat saying it was rightfully Jess's line from the get-go. Don't even try.
Yeah. Also, the fact that I can't believe my reaction. You did the line, and I was like, "That was terrible. Let me show you how it's done." And I couldn't get the line out.
Well, as you can tell, it was an absolute blast. So if you want to sign up for the Ehlert's exclusive, there will be a recording of it posted there exclusively for Ehlert's members. And then we can't wait. We're going to announce our next live watch. It'll be at the end of September. We do know that, but we'll give you all the details on dates, times, etc., just later on in the month. So keep a lookout for that.
Hello, Brock.
Hello. I have a question for you, and you have to answer honestly. Do you know your neighbors?
Okay. I feel like this is a trick question. Because in LA, I actually do know my neighbors. I do know my neighbors, and they are fantastic. My neighbors across the street, they just like drop off fresh figs on our doorstep sometimes. They're like, "Do you like figs?" They're the most delicious figs I've ever tasted in my life. Those are them. And my next door neighbors, yes, I know all of my neighbors. I don't know any of my neighbors in New York right now, though.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, they sound very much like the Donahues, which is perfect because we're reviewing episode 105, The Block Party, which is Nancy Donahue's, Jen Ray's first appearance, who also happens to be our guest today. So I'm so excited for that. There's a lot to do, isn't there?
Let's grab your potato casserole or your bucket of figs, fire up your lawnmower, and let's get to middling.
Welcome to Middling with Eden and Brock, where Eden and I break down an episode each and every week of your favorite show, The Middle.
Here we are. So how's your week been?
Week has been good. Okay, wait, I have to tell you. Cameron and I went to the beach on Saturday because it is so hot in Los Angeles. And if you're not on Patreon doing the video option, you're missing me sporting a tank top right now because otherwise I'd die of heat exhaustion. Anyway, we went to the beach on Saturday. We're at Starbucks I was getting my venti cold brew for the drive down to Santa Monica. And lo and behold, guess who I see standing in line at Starbucks?
Who?
Jeff Probst. I know. So living in LA, I'm sure you have this too. I don't get starstruck anymore as easily. When I tell you, my heart was pounding out of my chest. I haven't felt that starstruck since, I'm not even kidding, it was at a Starbucks 8 years ago with Helen Hunt. But Jeff Probst. Survivor is my favorite show on television.
Yes, of course it is. If you're not watching Survivor, if you did not binge all of Survivor during the pandemic, I don't know who you are. Okay, so what happened?
Cameron's head was on a swivel. I didn't know, so I was putting my straw in, and then Cameron's like, Jeff Probst is right over there, and I froze, and then I had to slyly look around. Baby, he's had some work done, but he looks good. And so then we walk out and he goes, do you want a picture? And I was like, no, I can't. And he goes, are you sure you don't want a picture? And I was like, I don't want to bother him. The timing's not right. He's still ordering. He's like waiting for his drink. I can't go back in there. Like, I was hyperventilating. I haven't had that feeling in a very long time. But Jeff Probst did it to me, honey.
Wait, did you end up, so you didn't get a picture?
No, and I regret, we got in the car, and once we got onto the 101, I was like, I regret it. And Cameron's like, I know you did. That's why I asked you 1,000 times if you wanted a photo.
Yeah, I think with stuff like that, you just kind of, as long as you are respectful and not like overstep, like even asking for a picture can sometimes feel like an overstep, like in and of itself. But I think if you present the energy, and you can like tell when someone genuinely, it's just like that, like they would regret it so hard if they didn't ask, and they genuinely want to be respectful, you kind of just have to do it. You have to just do it. My best girlfriend, whenever I'm around and like someone comes up to talk to like, hi, I love the middle, or you know, whatever, you can see them like wanting to ask for photo, and I never like make that assumption, but my girlfriend, whenever we're hanging out together, she goes, do you want a photo? Here, let me take the camera. And she'll just like snatch the phone out of their hand and then start taking photos, because she knows. She goes, they know they want a photo, and she's like, well, we're gonna take one. And you know, it's but like, oh my god, I'm sweating thinking about it right now. Jeff Probst. God, I cannot wait to tell Karani, first of all. And my story is not like that at all. Simply not like that even a little bit. So I'm in New York right now. I'm in New York for a long time because I'm doing my show all over the East Coast right now. And it just is very stupid to be going back and forth and back and forth and back. Yeah. So we're staying, the whole family, including my mom, we're all staying on the Upper West Side right now.
Ooh,
we're all being real bougie Jews right now. But so my kids are with me, and so we're figuring out things to do with kids. Like, New York is not the same. New York can be fun when you don't have kids. And it's a chore. It's stressful with kids. I don't like it. It changed New York for me. I'm like, you know what? If we never come back here, I think I'll be okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'll live. But this is
having two kids under the age of 3 though, and you're trying to keep track of them, and the drivers are even more insane than Los Angeles, and they're just it's a city for adults.
And we have this wagon we take them in, which is a lifesaver. People are always like, ooh, what's this wagon? And people always want to talk in New York, and always like, we gotta get home. They got a nap. Get out of my face. Yes, it's a wagon. You never seen a wagon before? See a wagon. But that's not even the story. So we're finding things to do with them, and we took them to the Children's Museum today. And there's this, my kids are not, like, I think because they're twins and they have each other, they're not very social. Like, with other kids, they don't, like, we take them, we try to socialize them, and they don't like socializing with other kids. So they're at, one of my kids, baby B, is at the table where there are a lot of magnet tiles. I don't know if you know what these things are.
What's that?
They're magnet tiles.
Oh, great. It's exactly as it sounds.
So baby B is playing with these magnet tiles, and another kid, like her age, comes over and starts playing with the magnet tiles, and she does not want to share. And this other girl is there with her, either nanny or mom, someone was also there, and so they're two adults and two 2.5-year-olds. Finally, my kid like kind of warms up. She starts talking, and she goes. She like builds this half box thing, like an open box area. And she just points into the box and goes, "That cat is dead." And the girl's mom immediately goes, "Hey, sweetie, I think we have to potty." And I was like, You did it, babe. You did it. You got you got what you wanted. They're gone now.
Yeah.
It felt very brick-like, honestly.
So on that really uplifting note, should we do some middle minutes?
Let's do the middle minutes, baby.
This is episode 105, The Block Party. So, after learning Brick is, quote, socially challenged, Mike tries to gain him some friends and some social skills by signing up for basketball. Meanwhile, Frankie becomes obsessed with getting Axel's old football jersey after Axel's teammates give their jerseys to their mom.
This episode was written by Alex Reed, a dear friend of mine still, and directed by the brilliant, you've seen all of his episodes, not just of the middle. He's directed every single episode of every sitcom you've ever loved. The fabulous Ken Whittingham. We should have him on the show someday.
Yeah, he'd be great. He'd be a great addition. I'd love to, hear from him. The guest cast, we have Jen Ray's first appearance as Nancy Donahue, Bo Wyrick's first appearance as Sean Donahue. We have Krista Braun as Mrs. Tompkins, Jeffrey Wallace as 6-year-old Axel, and Rachel Marie as Sophie.
Wow, I can't believe this is an iconic episode then. Jen Ray and Bo.
Yeah.
This aired on Wednesday, October 28th, 2009. As always, 8:30, 7:30 Central. And there were 6.49 million viewers.
The top movie of the week, Paranormal Activity. That got me all types of scared. I know.
I never saw it.
That was... they made it for like $15,000 and then they grossed millions and millions. Insane. Top song of the week, Down by Jay Sean featuring Lil Wayne. It's back at the number 1 spot.
I don't even remember what song is that?
Excuse me. Let me just sing it for you real quick. Baby, are you down, 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 down?
Sure.
God,
Lil Wayne was in that?
It's like Jay Sean's in the room with us. Can you believe it? Lil Wayne's verse, his probably his like rapped bridge is probably something I don't know in the depths of my mind, but I'm sure it's brilliant.
I'm sure I could just listen to you sing that chorus over and over again, but unfortunately we have to get through. We have to go to we have to go through beat by beat, episode 105, The Block Party.
So 105, The Block Party, first reactions, what'd you think?
Charlie, I think, is my favorite part of the show.
Me too. He's different than everyone. He's one of my first little notes is he's so thrown away. It's just like, because his stuff then sings, because he's the only one doing those kinds of deliveries. He's so funny. I
think he's my favorite character, and he consistently, almost every 90%, he's the most reliable laugh out loud for me. And maybe it's because I'm, very, very close with him. So like a
little biased, you might say.
A little biased, but no, this is what it says here. We're like going through the beats. Axel backs out of the upcoming lawnmower race because it's lame. That there is a moment they do like these cutaways of like when Frankie's like, Axel's in this whatever phase where everything is lame. And the last one was food is lame.
And the way he physically like crawls out of the chair.
Like crumbles his body. Like I know that I know I am a great physical comedian. I will give that to myself. It's one of my only skills in life. But he, I think, does not get enough credit for. He is such a good physical comedian also.
Yes, he is.
He's so good. I think that's first impressions. Charlie's the best.
And then Sue announces she's trying out for tennis as a ball girl. Did you ever try out for anything in high school?
No, just plays. I was so boring. I did try everything in middle school. Like I tried karate, I tried softball in elementary school, but I had really bad OCD, so I didn't like to be dirty.
Sure.
I didn't like to have dirt on me, and I also didn't like not being good at something immediately. I was not like Sue at all in that way. I could not just like stick to it. And so the only thing I was like good at or wanted to do was, musical theater. And so I tried out for a million plays, never got a lead, got a lead.
Whoever that theater teacher is rolling around, probably in her grave.
I hope Miss Lappin's not dead. I gotta say, I hope she's just like doing her although she actually did come up to me and tell me that I should have been Annie in 8th grade, and I was like, that's really inappropriate. like you should not say that to a 12-year-old. I have a whole complex about it now.
It's in the depths of your mind. Also in that scene though too, you said you like did like a little like yay or whatever it is, that Sueism. It feels like you're really finding, they probably are writing it to it as well, but like you're really finding your Sue-isms in a really nice way. Was that you, or were like you directed to be like, do yay in a fun kind of way?
No,
or was
that was
all
me.
you?
That was me. The line was yay, and then that I saw it too. I was like, oh, it's the beginnings of like when they started to write in like
Yes.
Do a classic yay or whatever. It's like, oh, I just did that. That's just how I act. This is a good plug for my show. I talk about this a lot in my one-woman show. I was on a sitcom. Come see it.
But like also too, that's just a good marriage of writing and actors, because if you're doing something and the writers are picking up what you're laying down, then they can write to your strengths, right? It's just like it's the symbiotic kind of relationship. It's great, and it's really reading on screen. It's great. And so then Frankie and Mike meet with Brick's teacher about his results of the Waterman-Ginsburg test. Brick has a hard time making friends and needs to be social is the outcome of that meeting. And they're like, and?
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm really surprised. They never use the word. They never, I think in 9 years, I don't think they ever used the word autistic or spectrum or anything like that. And I'm realizing like, I wonder, like, was that intentional that it feels, what's the word? Gen Z uses coded, right?
Oh, yes. Wow. It's like a Gen Z is on that microphone on the other side.
You'd almost think I wasn't in my 30s. I said the word coded.
Yes.
But no, like, I don't know actually how I feel about that. If it's like, if it is a good thing that they never really paid mind to it, or that they never, or like it is kind of like, why didn't they ever say, I don't know, I can't decide how I feel about it, but looking back on it now, it has a whole new like, oh.
I don't know, because I feel like it was the same. I remember, I forget if this was a private conversation you and I had, or if it was with the writers, I forget, but like it was the same kind of idea. Like we never said the word that like I was gay on the show, even when I came out. Like I don't think gay ever came out of our lips. And so like I wonder if, I don't know, because maybe the word autism or the word gay or these for lack of a better word, like buzzy words that would probably create traction in the media could be easily skewed in a negative way or a negative connotation. But we still get, even if that was what was actually going on underneath, we still get that, and we get it in a humorous way without the buzzy word, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I will say I was a little disappointed that we never, actually we did eventually, like in seasons 8 and 9, call out that you are gay, because when I like set you up with that, with Corbin Blue, remember?
Oh, yes. I do remember, but also we shot a version of the coming out scene where we had a little button, but they cut it.
I knew the second, that was because I was like, why don't we ever say it? And they were like, we don't have to. And I was like, I just feel like, I thought it was a really fun button. I remember it precisely. I remember it. It was like, Brad, I know, we hug.
And then there was that nice smile. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you say, that I'm gay, right? Like, yes.
Yeah, it was funny.
I thought it was really funny, but I knew they weren't going to do it. But either way, a lot of people have come up to me and they're like, that scene was so, resonant for me coming out or whatever. And it's like, well, good. If it did the job, it did the job. If people get it.
I meant to send you Peacock, which is where you can stream every episode of ABC's The Middle. They posted yesterday the coming out scene on their official Instagram. I should have sent it to you.
Oh my God, for Pride?
Yeah, or something. They're just like, here's some gay people.
Good for them. Give them a trophy.
Yeah. Okay, so they have that meeting, which is, it feels pointless for them because they're like, girl, tell us something we don't know about our child. Yes. And then at home, Axel misses Frankie. Axel asks if Frankie is coming to the Booster Club meeting. Frankie misses how sweet Axel used to be. And then I found it funny when the orange falls out of the fridge. That was one where, like, I did not see it coming. The orange falls out of the fridge, and your little body scurries across screen to pick it up like it's a tennis ball.
Yeah. I had a pretty easy gig that episode, I will say. I had a lot of just running around, catching random round objects. Yeah. But I didn't have, I think, a ton of lines.
Still made me laugh.
Did you see this? Mike gets Brick. Mike wants to get Brick into sports. They land on basketball.
Yeah, they land on basketball.
Basketball. I remember Neil saying sports for some reason. I think I was just like in the room. I remember like she's like, don't say it, and he goes sports, and I just have that stuck in my brain forever. And when he said it, it like triggered something like a sleeper spy. You know, is that a thing? Like it was like activated.
And then we see Frankie and Jen Ray, Nancy Donahue, decorating the lockers. So Jen Ray's first appearance, our guest later on this episode. And I noticed, like, even right from the beginning and even from the set decoration, did you notice that how the two, obviously the joke is how the two different lockers are decorated? It feels like Nancy Donahue rated Michael's and Frankie rated the junk drawer.
Yes. And honestly, that gag did get me, of the like, that's not Axel's locker.
Yeah.
That did. And I have to say, regarding Jen Ray, she really came in pretty fully formed.
Mm-hmm. She had everything kind of like I think she understood that character to a T, because also she's from the Midwest too. Like she is probably around those types of people all the time. Overly sweet, does everything 110%. You know, if it's not, you know, done perfectly, then it shouldn't be done at all.
And she has a little bit of that in her.
Yeah.
But not in, somehow she manages to get away with it, not in any sort of grating or annoying way. It's like truly so endearing and so authentic, the way she just wants to be. She is so, she's a little Sue Heck, honestly.
I remember Eileen and Deanne, the creators of the show, saying that they're always in tension. They're like, the show is about the family of five, right? It's about the Hecks, but they were very conscientious about the fact that they wanted to build out the people that surround them, which is so much fun to see. And I feel like this is our first real taste of like the people that we see consistently throughout the series. We're introduced to them and we see just how much they're integrated into the series right from the get-go.
Yeah, it's really interesting watching it back, because like filming it, you don't really know who's going to come back and who's not. And so seeing it in like, you know, hindsight 2020 or whatever, like seeing it, knowing how it plays out, knowing that this is like the start of the world, it was just, I don't know, you could just look at it in a new light of like, oh, this is a really good introduction to the world. Like it wasn't like, what a fun punchline of a character. It was like very, whether it was intentional or not, because I thought you were intentional, and the fact that you were only supposed to be on, we just found out, for 2 episodes is like, I don't know, there's no, I want to see that alternate reality, because actually I don't want to see it. That's grim. That is a grim alternate reality.
Yeah, I love that, knowing that was always their intention. And it's very crystal clear with the introduction of both Sean Donahue and Nancy Donahue.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then Brick tries basketball, and surprise, surprise, it doesn't go well.
Spoiler
Ketchup
alert.
packets. Yeah, he's reading on the benches. He's doing all the things but throwing a ball into a hoop.
Reads the font. Gets the font on the ball. I like that reveal, because he does
counts
say
the people up. Yeah. And so then we're at the booster club. Everyone gives their mom their jerseys. And Axel ends up giving his to a girl that he likes.
So then we're back at home, and Mike taps out of helping Brick. He's done. He's over it. Goes to work on his lawnmower. And Frankie tries to console Sue about ball girl tryouts. Also, spoiler alert, doesn't go well. While she is fishing for Axel's jersey. She's nothing. Frankie's nothing. Not persistent.
Yeah, that is very true. I don't know. This scene made me laugh. This is one of my favorites. I had no memory of it when watching this back, but like, just the effectiveness of her sitting, you know, between you two, and she wants so desperately. She's like looking over here, and she's like, "Okay, yes, but the jersey," and then she just tried to console you over here, but then back to the jersey. It's so simple and like classic comedy sitcom stuff, but it made me laugh.
I agree. It's just well done. It's just a well-made chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Once again,
that was my favorite line of Axel's from the entire episode, where he so throws away and it's barely audible, but he's like, "Wait, you think I could sell it for the jersey?" It made me cackle. It just came out of nowhere. It was great. And so then Mike works on the lawnmower, and surprise, Brick shines in helping him. Right? I love that.
Yeah.
Again, it's that sweet sentimental moment.
Yes, brings the awkwardness full circle, because he's a savant, which is also, they don't they don't ever say that, but it's a savant quality where he has this photographic memory. And I liked that. It was the classic, like, the music changes, it gets sweet, but it's not too campy. I can't remember the button exactly, but I'm sure it ends on some kind of joke. It doesn't end too saccharine. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, saccharine.
Sweet. But I liked that little wrap up.
Me too. And so then we're at the block party. Brick impresses the neighborhood, of course, with his quirks. Then Frankie confronts this girl, Sophie, about the jersey. Like, I wrote down when she speaks to Sophie, and she's just like, I had spirit. Yes, I did.
And then during the race, Brick stops Mike, reminding him about the book signing. And Mike gives up the race and takes Brick. Sweet, because he loves his cat.
Yes, and driving the lawnmower off into the sunset to the book signing.
Honestly, perfect way to end the episode.
So that was episode 105, The Block Party. And coming up next, we have the queen herself, Miss Jen Ray. I can't wait to talk to her. Today's guest hails from the suburbs of Chicago. She graduated with a degree in theater from Northern Illinois University before moving to the city where she did theater. She later came to Los Angeles with her sights set on TV and film. You know her from her roles on The New Normal, General Hospital, and of course, all 51 episodes as the aggravatingly perfect Nancy Donahue. Our guest, without any exaggeration, I know Eden will attest, is the most caring, joyous, wonderful person to have stepped on set in the middle. I truly mean that. She is revered by cast, crew, and creators as a literal ball of sunshine. And lucky me, as Brock here, the two people I became closest with on the middle are literally right in front of me as we speak. And I can never call her by just her first name. I always need to say a first and a last. We are so thrilled to do a little bit of middling with none other than Jen Ray. Hi, Jen Ray.
Hello. Well, that was an awfully sweet introduction.
You say sweet, I say true. I was just telling the truth the entire time.
I'll take it.
Brock has such a, I didn't realize this until we started doing this podcast. He has such a way, I was going to say a way with words, but that's not it. It's a way with flattery that doesn't come off insincere or like you're just like, oh, all these things are true about me. I didn't know. Oh,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, it's so easy to speak only nice, wonderful things about Miss Jen Ray. How are you? Thank you so much for doing this with us, Jen. We are so excited to have you.
So excited to be here. I have watched your first 3 episodes already.
Oh, so, good.
Yes, you just released one today that I listened to before we're recording. So,
good.
Yes. So it's been fun, and Brock has been sharing, Eden, that you guys have been doing this. So I'm kind of, even before you were doing it, I kind of had a little inkling that it might be happening. And I was so excited because then it's like a little fun stories and memories that we all get to share listening to other people, other guests you guys are having and stuff. It's just super fun.
Yeah, and it's, Jen, you're always so good at keeping in touch with so many different people. And you do it flawlessly. And that's why I think whenever you are thought of, it's like Jen is just like knows so much about me and is so caring, and because you're the kind of person who truly just like takes the time. You know everyone on set by name, you know what their deal is, what's going on in their life. But it's really nice to see. I feel like you don't see that a lot, especially from someone outside of the series regulars, and it's really a testament, I think, of who you are as a person, how you grew up, and it doesn't go unnoticed just how much you take that like additional step with people.
That's so sweet. I will tell you a funny story though. I try, but I was telling this to Eden, and I don't think she knows this. I officially have the worst memory of anyone that has ever lived. And so we would be like, first couple seasons at the middle, I mean, I tried to get everybody's names and stuff, but Brock, you know, a little bit different from you, Eden, because you were there every day. You know, we were only there even in the weeks that we shot, we were only there 1 or 2 days of that specific week. And so, you know, other crew members and stuff would be riding their bikes around the lot. And I'd get the, hi, Jen Ray. And I'd be like, hi. No idea no idea who they were, what their names were. So, yeah, I tried to be good, but it was hard there was over 250 people?
Yeah.
And they were changing. Like, they weren't the same. They were pretty, you know, there were a lot of regulars, but like they weren't 100% this. There were new people each year.
Yeah.
And some went out and some went. And you realize when you work on a show for that long, how few names are in circulation. Like, I feel like it's like 25 or 30 names, and it's like, wait, were you Rachel from last year? Were you? Oh no, shoot, you're Michelle. That's not even. And if it makes you feel any better, do you remember my husband's name by chance?
Nick.
So you remember it's Nick. I've been with him now for 10 years. 10 years. Neil still calls him Matt.
Does he look like a Matt to Neil? Like, does Neil think that he looks like a Matt?
Nick, Matt, anyone that's a Nick could absolutely look like a Matt, you know?
Next time you see Neil, it'll probably be John. You know what I mean?
No, that's the thing. It is always Matt. It's not like he can't remember
it. Is?
He just thinks that. First it was like, I can't remember it. And then I was like, no, it's Nick. He was like, all right, I'll remember it next time. And now it's officially Matt.
It's like Neil. Love. It's love.
But, Jen Ray, let's talk about you.
Let's.
The first question we always ask people, every actor's favorite topic, how did the middle come into your life?
Well, it was, you just had on G. Charles Wright, who was the casting director of The Middle. And so I was laughing because when I see him, I always say that he changed my life. And he laughs, and I'm like, no, I'm kind of really not kidding, you know? So I had an audition, and before I did The Middle, I had done maybe 5 co-stars before that. So I hadn't even booked a guest star yet when I auditioned for The Middle. And so I auditioned for, actually, I think it was in the cheerleading episode, there was a librarian.
Unfortunately, it didn't go to you. It went to a relative of Eileen Heisler.
Well, I went in, had an audition.
Sorry.
Yes.
I just want to interrupt and say, for anyone who doesn't know, when Jen is talking about co-star versus guest star, these terms mean a co-star is like someone you see on a show, like they have maybe 1 or 2 lines, probably never come back. They're like a grocery store clerk. And a guest star is someone who is not a regular, just comes in for 1 episode. And so Jen is saying she had not like proven herself. She had only ever had grocery store clerk type roles.
Although, I will tell Eden, my co-star roles are very memorable. I will show them to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some good co-star roles, so let's just back off there, Eden.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You are so right. You're so right. I shouldn't.
There are no
get.
small parts, only small actors.
100%.
You know I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. But,
but the thing is, that is your specialty, is making a lot out of a little. And clearly you did that. You did do that with your co-stars because you had the trust of G. Charles Wright.
Yes.
Continue.
So I went in for an audition. I auditioned for a librarian. And I don't know how if you guys remember, like when you first were starting your career, that when I had auditions for like 1, 2 lines, maybe 3, 4 lines, I really knew in the room when I was auditioning, I walked out and I was like, I booked that. Like, I just had a good gut feeling. Now, when we auditioned for bigger stuff, that's when that went out the window. I had no judgment on that. I have no judgment on that whatsoever anymore. But those little roles, I just always had a gut feeling, and I knew. So I went in, I do this librarian role, and I walked away and I was like, I booked that. And I didn't book it. And it was the first time, not to sound conceited, I hope this is not coming out conceited, but it was the first time that I was like, wow, I didn't book that. And kidding, you guys, I am kidding. To my friends, I was like, oh, well, they're just saving me for something bigger. I'm not kidding you that I said that. And then I went in a month later for another co-star role, so a couple lines, a mom, and booked it and was very excited. And I'll tell you, I could just talk about auditions all the time, but when I was in the room, I finished my audition, and talk about like a supportive casting director. G. Charles Wright goes, and that's Jen Ray. And so I was like, okay, I think that went okay. Like, he wouldn't have said that if that didn't go okay. So I booked it. So to just kind of fast forward, I know we'll probably go back to it, but Eden, I'm sure you know this. I know that Brock knows this, but this role was a co-star not to recur. And I had 3 or 4 lines. I played it's this episode. I had 3 or 4 lines. I played a mom. And the creators of the show told me 2 seasons later, Jen, do you want to know like when you became Nancy Donahue? And I was like, yes, I do want to know when I became Nancy Donahue. And they were like, in that first episode, that wasn't necessarily who that role was going to be, but you just embodied this character that we knew we were going to be having on eventually. And then we were like, that's Nancy Donahue.
Wow. That's so special, Jen.
Yeah.
So I guess then my question is like, piggybacking off of that, you obviously know someone in your life, or are you Nancy, or was your mom who was like Nancy that you could draw from, that you're like, I know who this woman is right away, that made it feel so authentically like just the perfect neighbor?
I'm from the Midwest, so I was born and raised in a suburb of Chicago, so there's pretty much no acting in anything that I did on 51 episodes. No, I'm kidding, but it is really a combination of my mom and dad. And then a little splash of Jen Ray in there. But this character is literally a combination of my mom and dad, which is so special and so fun to have been able to do this for all those years in honor of the coolest parents on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how close you are.
I just wanted to say real quick, I wanted to cut in and say that I do think, I love that this is a combination of the 2 people who made you who you are. But I do think, knowing you as well as I do, there's a little more than a splash of Jen. There is definitely quite a bit of Jen Ray that is in Nancy Donahue.
I also think, too, I mean, I'm sure the writers would agree with this, like, you know, Eden, obviously you were on from day one. Brock and I were on from very early on in season 1, that they also see you. And then that helps them in writing future episodes or jokes that worked in that, Jen really can do that, Eden can really do that, Brock can really do that. And then they expand on that. So I think that's a part of it too, like just embodying who that character was, and then they write for you.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
And that's also too, like when you're coming in as, especially as like a guest star or a co-star, it's a little bit of like, there's a lot of different directions this certain character can go. So you just got to kind of bring your flavor to it. And if it works, fantastic. And if it doesn't work, there'll be another one. And they didn't want your flavor of ice cream that day. So there's probably a nice like basis of Jen Ray that like just so effortlessly fits in there. And it didn't feel put on. And that's why I think audiences connected with you. I think that's what G saw in the room when he screamed, and that's Jen Ray. Is like they were seeing just an authenticity that you brought, and that was exactly what fit into the puzzle piece of the middle for episode 105, the block party. Okay, so Jen Ray, you had your first episode was this, the block party 105. Walk me through like first day on set. I remember my first day on set. I think you and I are very, very similar in the sense that like I knew the only thing I really had a foundation for, because the middle hadn't aired yet when we filmed for both of us. And so the only real basis that I knew was, oh my gosh, that's Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond. And so that was like, Eden, you're fabulous. I love you. You're wonderful. You're a great scene partner. But like, I just remember like, oh my God, Patricia Heaton. Walk me through your first day. What are you feeling? Walk me through all that.
Well, I am, and still to this day, am always nervous. Like almost sometimes debilitatingly nervous. And so that first day, I mean, I was prepared. I only had a few lines. I was prepared. But my scene was with Patricia Heaton and only Patricia Heaton, so I was so scared, but just like kept like in my head, focus, Jen, you got this. You can do this. It's one of those like talking yourself up kind of a thing. But I really, that first day, I just remember being so nervous and was thanking the Lord I got through it, and I didn't mess up.
I just want to be clear about something, because I think I misunderstood or I missed it. When you went in, when this role, did she have a name or was it just Mom? Eileen Heisler, who is one of the creators of the show, she tells the story, and she's the creator, so she knows that this was not Nancy Donahue, but my sides do say Nancy, but that could have been another Nancy that was a mom. My sides didn't, and for people that don't know, I'm saying sides, that's your audition material is what we call sides, but my sides did say Nancy, but she said that when I had that role, it was not Nancy Donahue.
Wow.
Okay, it was not. Yeah. Okay, so that's crazy. You really thought your first day on set, you were like, "Oh, I'm going in. I'm going to work one day with Patricia Heaton. Like, let's see how this goes."
Yep. And then I had so I always tell actors now, like, don't necessarily turn something down. Like, think about something, because I had 3 lines on an episode of a show that turned into a 9-year job.
Yeah.
I mean,
pretty remarkable. Talking with G too, and it was always like, I know the intention to start to build out Orson around the Hex and the people that surrounded their lives. And I know in my soul, like when they found you, they're like, because they referenced the Donahues earlier before your episode even comes out. So, I know that they were like planting those seeds, and pretty cool to figure like, if that wasn't what the intention was from the beginning, and then eventually like that's what it became, they were like, ooh, we found her, and now we're going to slip her into this Nancy Donahue role that we've already kind of established, because we mentioned that they're the perfect neighbors who live, down the street.
I didn't realize that was mentioned before the 5th episode. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget what episode, but I know they mention, it's brief, but they do say Donahues at some point in sometime between episodes 1 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are established as people in the world. Not that necessarily means that they'll ever, that they have an intention of bringing them.
Sure.
But yeah, I was shocked at how early they just mentioned the Donahues.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, your parents were not performers, but I am learning this in real time because Brock wrote this out. Your parents, which again makes sense now that you've said that they're that Nancy Donahue is a combination of them, but apparently they played Santa and Mrs. Claus at the mall, correct?
Well, my dad played Santa. My mom would go with him in her Christmas. So let me just say this though.
Okay.
Julia, who was the costume designer for our show, it was basically my mother's wardrobe. I mean, like, we would go in for my fittings, and I'd be like, oh my God, my mom would totally wear this. Yes, this one, you know, but it was so my dad played Santa, or
Okay.
I shouldn't even really say that. My dad is Santa.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
My dad is Santa Claus. And then my mom would wear her little Christmas sweatshirts, and she would help. But she wasn't.
Got it.
She didn't want to dress up as Mrs. Claus because, you know, he was the star of the day.
Sure.
Got it. Your parents seem like performance, you know, veered or like performer adjacent. Is that sort of where you got the acting bug? Did you just have a knack? Did you also just, like, as I say about myself, I just knew I was comfortable with attention? Were you just comfortable? How did this come into your life?
Well, my mom actually, at my high school, when I was a little girl, my high school didn't, like, their drama department was all volunteers. So my mom volunteered at the high school, and, like, little itty bitty Jen Ray with her pigtails would go while she was volunteering. They were doing Annie, Get Your Gun, and there were 2 Annies. And so one of them, whoever wasn't performing that day, would just sit cross-legged with me, stage right, and I would sit in her lap, and I would watch the whole show. So we're talking like I was like 6, 7. So from that point, I was like, oh, I want to be Annie. Like, how do I get to do that? But also my mom was a spitfire, like, just the most hilarious woman, and my dad is a natural born storyteller. So neither of them were actors, but and funny story, my brother and I both went to college together and both got acting degrees. So
Oh, I didn't realize your brother did that too.
yeah. So my poor parents, we were the first ones out of our family to go to college, and we both got acting degrees. So
Oh, yeah.
But it's so funny you mentioned your mom being a spitfire, because I do, and I can't remember if this was the first time I met your mom or if I had met her on set when she came. I cannot remember, but I do remember vividly, and I forget who was with us. Maybe it was just us and your mom, but we went to an event at Patty's house. I think it was for World Vision.
It was
and
World
Mom
Vision,
came,
yeah.
and your mom had a knack for the Hollywood lifestyle. That's the thing that I remember the most. She loved being at Patty's house with all the Hollywood elite and she, and, you know, just at this rich, lavish backyard. That's what Patty's backyard is like. And and your mom just, oh baby, she fit in. She loved it. The Hollywood lifestyle fit her very well.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I'm sure all of our families are very similar, but my parents were just, like, so supportive, and just, you know, there wouldn't be anywhere while the show was on that we would go that it didn't come up in a conversation, you know.
Right. Yeah.
That is so sweet.
Okay, I do have one more question. We have a blue bag grab situation, but I do have a couple rapid fire before we get to your quiz questions. Top of your head,
okay.
Jen Ray, because I know the fans want to know. Favorite moment. Well, actually, this is for my own self. I think I know your favorite moment from the entire 9 years you filmed. What was your favorite moment?
Oh my God.
Are we on the same wavelength?
I want to know what you're thinking. Why are you so sure? What is it, Brock? I want to know what you think it is.
When you hip checked the out of Patricia Heaton and she went flying into the pool, I know you love that.
Oh, are you kidding me? I was terrified. I had to push Patricia Heaton in a pool. No,
she can handle it.
Oh, yeah, she could handle it, but we got one take.
Right.
Like, there was one take of me getting that right, because once she was wet, they weren't so no, Brock. No.
Okay, so expunge that from the record. Just expunge that from the record.
I will tell you, after it went swimmingly, See what I did there? Sure, that's a fun memory. And we have some hilarious pictures of us with her hair just everywhere out of the pool. So yes, that was a fun memory. But I would probably say, if we were like saying my most fun episode, it probably was the 100th.
That was good.
With the parade and the cow and the, all of that. And that was a really fun episode, and that was probably my favorite episode.
That was Nancy Donahue at like full form with a clipboard and a headset. That was peak Nancy Donahue isms, and you were able to just lean into all of that. It's so good.
I do not remember at all what you're talking about, and so I'm very excited to see this in 5 seasons.
Exactly.
That was the episode where you had your broken leg from surfing, and remember it was supposed to be summer, and you and I were sitting down, and we had to have a blanket over us.
Oh yes, that's right.
And you were on a scooter. Do you remember this?
Yes, of course. I remember. I remember that scooter. I'll never forget that scooter.
And you had to try and walk normally, but you had a little bit of a limp. And I forget who. I think it was Lee who directed it, and they were like, "Try and move the shoulders like you're not walking, like you just broke your ankle."
I was like, okay, got it. Great. And I think she really thought that was like a legitimate direction. And I was like, thank you. I'll do that. Sure, they taught me that in acting school.
Right.
One more thing before we move on. When we're talking about, there is another episode that you guys will get to too. But, and hopefully I'll be back on so we can talk about other stuff.
Yes.
But do you remember this, Eden, when you guys went on vacation and I came in with the mail and I thought you guys had been robbed because the house was such a mess?
Yes, I do remember.
I literally had 2 lines in that episode. It is one of my all-time favorite episodes because I lived that. Like in my, growing up in the Midwest, that was how everybody's houses were. I'd walk onto that set of The Middle and I'd be like, this is how I grew up. This is how everybody's houses looked.
I will say they do a really good job with set decoration. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your house. I've been to your house recently, Eden. That feels like your house.
It's upsetting.
Okay, so Jen Ray, to wrap things up, we do a little thing called the Blue Bag Grab, which is just 5 quiz questions. We made them a little bit hard for you because I think you're going to be better than some of our other guests. I love our other guests, but sometimes we had to throw them a couple softballs.
I just hate that I'm about to disappoint you both.
No, you're not at all.
Don't worry, because I tell everyone this. Brock and I have done this a number of times. My batting average is about 1 for 7.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay, so Jen, here's your blue bag, and question number 1.
Okay.
Jen Ray.
Yes.
In what season did Brad and Nancy, famously Brad Bottig, famously Nancy Donahue, in what season did Brad and Nancy share an episode even if they didn't appear in the same scene?
Oh, I don't know what season it was, but it was the scene with the birthday cake that was made out of the phone book. Right?
Maybe. I didn't have that. I have season 3. I have season 3 episode Bad Choices. Did that have a phone book in it? A cake with a phone book. That was our first season together, our first episode where we appeared in the same episode, even though we didn't have a scene together. But I felt a little I was we never, for 2 seasons, we kept crisscrossing back and forth. And finally, when I met you, I remember finally I get to meet the Nancy Donahue at the table read. And thinking about it this morning as we're going through these questions, I was like, that makes a lot of sense because the first 2 seasons, I was under 18 and precious Priscilla, my mother, had to be with me on set. And you never met my mom until way, way, way later. And she visited for fun. Yep. And which makes sense that we never crossed paths in those first 2 seasons because you didn't meet my mom until I think season 8 or something crazy. But you guys are Facebook friends and you guys did the whole commenting, liking, all the things.
Well, I think the episode I'm talking about is much later because it was we were in the living room together at a party.
Okay,
so in this one, you didn't share a scene. You were
We
just
did not
in the
share a
same
scene.
episode.
Okay.
Correct,
Nope.
but it took
So that-
till season
yeah.
3 to be in the same episode.
That's crazy. I think of you guys as constantly as like it's required if you're in an episode. Maybe because you're just you're so in sync. Like I think of you as such good friends now that I'm like, yeah, of course. Just like how the cheerleaders were always in the same episode together. Like,
Yes.
of course, Jen Ray and Brock were only in the same episodes. Okay, so question number 2: the Donahues and the Hex live on the same street in Orson, Indiana, which the physical street doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
I know, so
But
sad.
I know. What is the name of that late street? I'm not going to say that. What is the name? What is the name of that street?
You know, it is in this episode that I just watched. Nope, don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give
Birch-
you.
Oh,
You got it. Oh, you're going
Birchwood.
to say it. Yep, that's it.
I got it.
with
Birchwood.
a little assist. I've been watching a lot of volleyball. I just bump set you and then you spiked it.
That's right.
Okay, Jen. So for this third question, we have a visual element. Okay.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to be using the dulcet tones of my voice to describe just our audio listeners. But if you're visual, you can also watch and watch along with Jen Ray. So I'm going to show you a series of 3 photos. You have to tell me what episode this is from. I don't necessarily maybe not
You
need the
guys,
name, but like, can you tell me the plot?
This is not a Jen Ray game.
No,
Okay,
this
go
is
ahead.
good. This is good. Okay, so here we go.
This is not a Jen Ray game.
For our listeners, this photo I'm about to show, Nancy is wearing a gorgeously knitted blue and white scarf holding a cardboard box. So, do you remember this episode?
Of course I do, but I can't tell you the name of it.
The season? Can you say this? Do you know the season?
I'm going to say that's season 2. Am I right?
Close.
Season 1?
No.
Oh, I don't know then.
Season 3. Hecking It Up. I have no idea what that plot was, but this was on your IMDb
Yeah.
with Hecking
Yes.
It Up right underneath.
I will say this though, you know, they have photographers on set that then take pictures and upload those pictures to the middle IMDb page. Not one picture that they took of Nancy Donahue wasn't like where my mouth was like half open and like not like, I mean, they are the most unbecoming pictures on IMDb. So go and look at the pictures from the middle on IMDb of me and you will see what I'm talking about.
Well, I'll say this. This next photo that I'm about to pull, I got from IMDb, and honey, it's a stunner. So again, for our audio listeners, in this photo, Nancy and her husband are dressed nicely, sitting at a restaurant.
Okay, yes, this was the episode. I'm never going to be able to tell you the names, but this was
Okay.
the episode where we were all at a bar and it was the like a cover band. We went to go see the cover band, and what was yeah. So that's all I can tell you.
Love it.
Am I right?
It's
You don't even
Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day 3. I don't know the plot. I know the name. I should have looked at the plots.
Yeah, sorry.
But I say, honestly, I think that is a gorgeous photo of Jen Ray. And that's
agree.
that's on IMDb. That's on IMDb. Okay, third and final. I'll bet you get this one. I'll bet you $1 million you get this one.
I'm telling you, you are wrong, but go for it.
Okay, so our final photo, again, for our audio listeners. Nancy is driving Brick, and her kids, and all 3 of them have wicker baskets.
Now, seriously, look. Okay,
There's that. Wait, okay, so there's that open mouth photo that you are.
I mean,
you are
come
talking
on.
about.
I mean, why? That's the best picture the photographer that was there all day could have posted. Yeah, you were asking. I'm terrible with seasons and titles.
Okay.
I remember this episode very clearly, though, because there was
let's
an
hear it.
incredibly hard speech that I had to give, and yes, it was very hard, but I did it.
You
course you
did,
did.
and you killed it. I know you killed it. It was called The Carpool from season 5.
Yes. So Eden, I'm telling you, I think I'm going 0 for 0.
You were the you have it. You got the last one. You got number 2. You said the cover band one. That's good enough.
You're good.
We make up these rules, Jen.
Yeah.
We decide on the fly if it's a correct answer or not.
Okay, great.
But you know what, Jen? Everyone on this podcast is never going to be as good as the loyal fans of the middle, because I bet you $1 million bucks these loyal fans who love the middle, and that's why we're doing this, they could tell you the name, the air date, how many millions of viewers it had, and so on and so forth, and what the timestamp was in the episode. I love it.
Yeah. All right, this one I do think you are going to get. I really think you're going to. This is here for you.
Okay.
This is for you. We're going to test, this is question number 4. We're going to test you on the Donahue family tree. What are the names of your 3 children?
Okay. Sean, Shelley, and, oh God, Dottie.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. That was so un-Nancy Donahue. I'm so sorry.
All
do
right.
you guys do this, though? Like, I have, like, trouble going, like, I almost said Bo. You know, like, I mix up people's real names and their character names. So
100%. Okay, your husband?
Shh.
Yeah, you're about to say his real name.
It's not Ron.
It is.
It's Ron.
So, do you want to know that you guys, you'll have to see if you find this. There's one episode, the first episode that he's mentioned, he has a different name than the rest of the episodes.
Oh,
Wait, really?
That checks out.
Oh, I can't wait to discover
Also-
that little Easter egg.
I mean, also his real name is the same as the character of your son's name. It's a whole.
Right.
You're
It
not
was very
like
confusing.
okay. And this one is sort of it's a little bit of a cheat, but your daughter-in-law.
Sue Heck.
That's the one. You got it.
I almost said Eden Sher because I'm looking at your name on the
I
thing.
can block that too. Okay, one final question, number 5. So, in a rare instance where Brad and Nancy have dialogue together, during the episode New Year's Revelations, Brad tells Nancy, "We're out of toothpicks with the frilly ends." Wait, do you want me to perform it? Hold on.
Sure.
"Mrs. Donahue, we're out of toothpicks with the frilly ends." What is Nancy Donahue's response? It's so good. It's so funny, too.
I have absolutely no idea. What is it? Do
is
the imitation of me doing it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll do both parts so they're simultaneous so you can really get the flow of it. "Mrs. Donahue, we're out of toothpicks with the frilly ends. Oh, what color do you need?" as you're digging into your purse.
That's good. That's funny.
It's good, right? I do a good Nancy Donahue. Well, Jen, we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for doing this. It was so lovely to see you. Again, the middle experience, first of all, you being on the series is incredible, and you made such a stamp, and people love you, we love you, but then also just from as Brock, and I know I can speak for Eden, as Eden speaking as us outside of our characters and our experience on the show, you made such a positive impact behind the scenes, as a scene partner, and everything in between. It's like it's a joy to act for a living, but then also having the bonus and the cherry on top of doing it with like a really lovely, nice person is more than I could ever dream.
Well, right back at you both.
Thanks, Jen. We love you.
I love you guys too.
Oh, I just love that Jen Ray. It was so fun to see her.
I love that woman.
Okay, so now it's time, as we wrap up, it's time for our listener questions. So this one this week comes from, I love this question, comes from Twitter, and someone asked us.
You mean
they
X?
said, okay, yeah, so sorry.
Whatever.
X. So sorry, Elon.
Yeah, whatever.
They said, "The Middle's my favorite show, so I'm curious, what are your favorite shows, past or present?" That's very interesting. I love that one.
That is. Honestly, mine are sitcoms. I
Me
love
too.
sitcoms. I would probably go with a classic. I'd probably say 30 Rock. 30 Rock is up there. and Superstore.
Oh my gosh,
I literally,
yes.
I asked to be on it. I was like,
And
can I please? They put me on an episode because I was like, I'm a fan. Can I be in your presence? And they did it. And I was like,
yeah,
oh,
it was a great episode.
Living the life. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm loving Abbott Elementary. It's so funny. So funny.
Love Abbott.
Favorite
I have
show
to
of
be
all
on
time,
that
though.
too.
Oh yes, you would be
Yeah.
great. Like a little substitute teacher or something. You'd be fabulous.
I want to play what's his face's like deranged sister or cousin. Jacob?
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Well, let's put those wheels in motion. Let's put that out into the universe.
Right.
Favorite show of all time though is Survivor, which comes full circle. It's so fun. I mean, it just makes it all the more like kick in the pants that I did not get a photo with Jeff Probst.
I don't know why I forget that whole genre of television. 100% on board. Survivor tied with Big Brother for me personally.
Oh yes, and that's coming on in a couple weeks. Wait, I've also started for the first time ever Love Island, which is also on Peacock. Are you watching?
Wait, you've just started Love Island
Okay,
UK?
I've never. Well, I went out to to this dumb event with my friends a couple weeks ago, and we were sitting around this table, and for 45 minutes, all they talked about were like this person, that person from Love Island, and I'm just sitting there like a dumb ass, and I was like, well, now I got to watch it so I can be up to date in this convo with my friends, and now I'm hooked.
Brock, I'm telling you, you can watch this new season. You can start there if you want, but I cannot implore you enough. Go back and watch season 3. Watch seasons
US
3 and 4.
or UK?
UK. Before you do anything else, stop, get off of this podcast right now. Go watch season 3. There is an iconic scene, iconic fight. There is, I think it's episode 35. I think it's about, I'm not kidding, it's about, I want to say maybe like 40 minutes in, maybe, I think it's at 37 minutes in. You will know when you get to it, or maybe you won't, but I will point it out to you. I've watched that season maybe 3 times, and I've watched that episode, I've watched that scene, maybe I watched it like once a week for a while.
Oh my God. Okay, wait, can I give you the impression of Love Island UK? This is the thing I've been saying to Cameron now whenever I have to ask him something. I go, can I pull you in for chat, babes?
Oh, Brock, you are so you're in it. You're in it now. Are you kidding me?
I'm in it.
Can I pull you? That's classic. Can I pull you
for chat?
Can I pull you for chat? Can I pull you for chat? Pull you for chat, babe. I literally in my vows to my husband, I told him he was 100% my type on paper. That sounded Australian. My God, we actually just finished Love Island Games and All Stars. Have we never talked about Love Island?
Well, I just got into it, so now I have to go back, and there's a lot of seasons I have to catch up on, apparently, obviously.
Just watch there's certain ones you can honestly skip. You can just definitely skip seasons 1 and 2. They were finding the groove. Season 1 is offensive to me.
Okay. 3 and 4, according to you. 3 and 4. Got it.
Go to 3 and 4 and then just watch them all. Just do it. I just want to really quick, this might not make it into the pod or not, who knows, but I just want to know what you think this means really fast. This is a comment that I got on TikTok. It says, I love your posts. It would be so cool if you guys were on Saturday Night Live doing a skit from the middle.
Wait,
what do you take that to mean?
I don't know. I'm not an SNL person. I hate to admit it. I feel like sketch comedy. It's great for people. It's not for me.
I think that's very funny. They can be hit or miss. They're always hit or miss because it's so broad. But I think when it's good, it's good. You categorically do not like sketch comedy?
That's a lie. I think the consistent, like when I watch an episode of SNL, I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll hit the highlights of like something that like makes its way, that's super funny, that inevitably finds its way on Twitter/X. Like that is, I find super, super funny. Bowen Yang makes me giggle. He is so funny. But I have to tell you, in between my contract being done, or before I even actually initially got the offer for the spinoff, and so the middle ended, and before they said, hey, do you want to do the series, be a series regular for the spinoff? I auditioned for SNL. I got I got an audition for it, which was a first call. So like, I didn't even go to New York or anything, but like they had you submit this video. You had to write like 8 sketches. You had to film a million things. You had to do like a pop culture spoof for like a song or something. I spent a month on it, and I went back and I actually rewatched it the other day, and it's terrible. It's so bad. And you want to know the saddest thing too? So I don't know if anyone knows WeTransfer. So we had to send it. You didn't send it to your reps. You had to send it directly to casting at whatever, at NBC or 30 Rock, whatever.
SNL@gmail.com.
SNL@gmail.com. And whenever someone downloads your files, you get a notification saying, oh, the person you send it to has downloaded your files. They never downloaded it.
That is what I was hoping you were gonna say.
Never downloaded. They never saw me doing my impression as Joan Rivers. They never saw it.
I want to see it.
Oh my god. But like, I also
crying.
it's insane. But then I was at Bo Wyrick and Daniela's wedding in July over the summer, and I was sitting next to Deanne, one of the creators of the show, and I had casually mentioned, because I had no idea that I was a part of the spinoff at this point, and but they had obviously, you guys had been like talking and ruminating, and I had mentioned that I auditioned for SNL, and I could just see her like tighten up a little bit, because she was like, what if he becomes unavailable? And the thing that she didn't know is there was no worry of me becoming unavailable. They didn't even download my audition.
Honestly, that is Hollywood in a nutshell, baby.
Yes.
Oh my god.
We're just now this is just you and me catching up. This has nothing to do with
This really
ABC's
is.
The Middle anymore.
No, it does not. So here we go to wrap us up. Please follow us on socials. Also, if you're not on the Patreon, if you're not doing that Patreon business, patreon.com/middlingpod. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? This is your moment.
The interviews are so good. You get just like truly just like a little snippet in this free feed, but going to Patreon, you truly get the full extent of the interviews. You get the extended episodes at the end of the night. It's really great. You're missing out.
You're missing out. Patreon.com/middlingpod.
And don't forget, obviously, to rate us on whatever platform you're listening on. If it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music. The rating truly, truly helps us. And rating it is free. So I say click that 5 stars. Leave us a cute little review. One of these days I want to go through and I want to read some of y'all's reviews. But rate us, review us. It really, really helps us. We'd really appreciate it. And then next week, we'll be back next Wednesday. We're talking about episode 106, The Front Door. And Axel gets in so much trouble.
I love you so much, Brock.
I love you so much. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.